Drive by. I've always been told that no, I'm not going to do that one. I've got a man sitting ahead of me who looks exactly like, I think Vincent van Gogh, and his name is Steve Monk Chipman. Good afternoon to you, Steve.
Good afternoon. How's it going?
It's very well. I was going to say I had a go at being Vincent van Gogh many years ago at his fancy dress party.
Nice. How'd it go?
It didn't go very well actually. I got the beret, I got the smock, and I got a palette and some brushes, and I put an elastoplast on my ear.
Strong. Were you on the absinthe all night?
Well, unfortunately, that would have been a good idea because I needed it afterwards. I went in and it was quite one of those rather upmarket parties with people you probably wouldn't want to associate with, but I thought I'd go along. And someone swanned up to me and looked at me and went, wrong ear, and swanned off. So
I can tell you which one it was, to be fair.
You can't?
I couldn't tell you.
But you're supposed... Well, let's go...
I could take a 50-50 guess if you like. Okay, right.
The right ear, yeah, because when you look at the portrait, that famous portrait, that self-portrait of Vincent van Gogh, he's got a plaster on, bandage on his right ear.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it certainly does. Now, how did this all come about?
It came about because, about 3 weeks ago, a guy that I work with said that he turned to me and said, "You remind me of Vincent van Gogh." And then just purely coincidence, totally separate party, not from work, sent a link saying there's this competition that Douglas Copeland is starting in Canada to celebrate redheads, and the first one he's doing is to celebrate Vincent van Gogh, and he's crowdsourcing the world effectively to try and find the person who out there that looks most like him. I bear a striking resemblance, so I figured I'd give it a crack.
Yeah, the beard helps, certainly.
Yeah, the beard certainly helps.
Yeah, that's right. You don't look quite as tortured, I'm delighted to say, as
no,
Vincent van Gogh.
He had schizophrenia.
That's right. He had a whole selection
syphilis.
Of demons, didn't he? Yeah,
I was going to say I have none of these things.
I'm delighted to hear that. No, you mentioned the name there. This is the sculptor. His name is...
Douglas Copeland.
Yeah.
Kind of a modernist, novelist and artist. It's the project he's doing at the moment.
And it's this...
And the first of many, I think. That's what I read.
So this is a celebration of redheads the world over, really famous redheads.
Redheads the world over, yeah. And unfortunately at the moment, because it's a Canadian-based competition, Canada seems to have the edge on us at the moment because presumably it went out in media streams across Canada. They've got the heads up on us, so really giving it a crack for the UK.
Now, I mentioned you had a beard, but didn't look too tortured. How do you actually try and make yourself fit the bill more?
Well, it's
rather like
approach life.
I don't think in real life.
I'm 50% there.
Oh, you're 50% there. I was thinking just in terms of a lookalike, rather than doing anything absolutely terrible to yourself. We're not talking method acting here, so
I could put on a pretty convincing Dutch accent if you'd like.
Well, that would be useful.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, but are you thinking? Well, I'll look at the way he dressed, this sort of thing, or are you looking at his self-portraits and things like that? Because there are presumably not that many images of him.
There are about 5 or 6 self-portraits. They all look slightly different though, because he underwent different stages of kind of psychological torture and hallucinogenic abuse. So I certainly look like one of his tortured memories.
It's rather like that. It's not what it's another. It's those slimming pictures, isn't it? Before and after, where there's the morbidly obese person, and the second time they're holding a thin person in one leg of their trousers, holding the waistband open, pointing down, and which I always thought the caption should be, "I can see it now for the first time in years." But so you would think that you look at the wardrobe, all that sort of convincing French, Dutch accent, etc.
You were like you say, like you went with your costume. He kind of wears the smock, kind of the collars and stuff, so I don't have a smock, so a shirt will do.
That's not a bad idea. How long have you got before the Van Gogh lookalike is crowned?
It's a little bit up in the air at the moment. They've begun to put messages out there saying that the semi-finals are approaching, so we just need to try and get as high up the rankings as we can, so that we're kind of considered for the kind of cherry-picked 20 at the end. So they're getting in a guest judge at the end, cherry-pick 20 people, and then the competition will continue from there.
Do you know who the judges are going to be?
Jane Pratt is. I googled her. I couldn't find out much about her.
She's a friend. Probably knows it. She probably may have,
Maybe it's a Canadian thing.
A Canadian scholar, perhaps knows all about Vincent van Gogh. It's an interesting idea. How do you feel? What do your friends say? Steve, or should I call you Vince?
Well, friends through social media, especially Facebook, have been absolutely incredible. I'm not a prolific user of Facebook, but for the last 48 hours, I've absolutely bombarded them with nonsense about Van Garth and just everything. And I'm in the fortunate situation that I actually work for a PR agency. So as soon as I told them I was entering this competition, they were like, I've got this under control. Just started messaging people. They did the whole Twitter, social media things, why I'm here.
So you were having a similar sort of one of those, sort of like a bit like a sort of Mad Men conference room job, with lots of people going, well, what we're going to do, this is, running up the drain pipe, see if anyone salutes, etc. So the campaign will be this.
It's much less of a male-dominated environment now, I think.
I think
you should see my office.
Really? I think it's probably a very good idea, actually, to be frank.
Bottle PR, by the way.
We'll get to that in a moment. I thought there'd be a plug at some particular point. Now, the next thing is, how many people are taking part? Because this is a global thing, is it? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, the latest entries keep mounting up. When I started on Wednesday night, I uploaded it around 11 o'clock, and I was in 866th. So
do you know out of how many?
Well, I was in last place because I had no votes at the time. So I'd say there were approaching kind of 900 at least now.
900? So you put your picture up there and go, look at me, do I look like Vincent? And people started to vote for you.
Basically, yeah, that's it.
Have you seen some of the competition going, Dad, doesn't look anything like Vincent? That's a woman.
No,
she doesn't look anything like Vincent.
They've done a first round of sifting through, because there are lots of pictures of cats with wigs on in the first round. But
it's social media. It runs entirely on pornography and cats,
exactly.
Doesn't it? Yeah.
Now that they've got the short list of men with beards, it's I'd say I was definitely up there. I just want to get to the top 10 so that I could be considered. I mean, it's a small ask.
But it's going pretty well.
Top 10 in the world.
You were 69th and you've gone up since then.
69th. That was a pretty big landmark for me. And now we were in 200th yesterday at some point, and we are now in 33rd, I think.
Wow, 33rd. This is going pretty well, Steve. So you need to get into the top 20, really.
Yeah. That's the plan. Just so it can be, just so I can see represent the UK.
Now, this is the sort of thing that you certainly don't ask ladies. Is that are you a natural redhead?
Yeah, I don't dye my beard.
I was going to say, I just wondered about that, because I was thinking, I've got a beard. That's a collar and cut. I've got a beard, but perhaps I could dye myself my beard red, and maybe. No, your face is.
I was looking at your picture outside, and I was thinking, if you shave the beard, you could be a meatloaf.
No, I'm too thin for a meatloaf. I'm actually turning into Chaz and Dave. That's the thing.
Actually, no, I can see that.
That's right, yeah, it's definitely. There's all sorts of things. Over the years, I've changed from Mr. Data from Star Trek to this. So that's the aging process for you, Steve. You wait.
Look forward to it.
When do we get the answer?
Like I said, it's a bit up in the air at the moment. They haven't given a proper end date on it. I think they're just waiting for that perfect Vinny. And
then, have you
to get up there so they can see me?
Of trying to monetize this? So therefore, signing up with a lookalikes agency.
I've got far too busy for that.
There's Marilyn Monroe bursting out of cake, singing "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" all over the country.
Yeah, but I think she had a few more assets than Van Gogh did. There isn't much cool for a 19th century psychotic painter.
That's right. At your party, what a great idea.
That'd be a real downer.
The
life and soul, depending on what mood he's in.
This is true. Steve Monk Show. It's been great talking to you, and every success. Tell us how you get on.
Absolutely.
So
can I tell you how to find me as well?
That's a very good idea, because he needs all the votes. He needs
rather than the competition.
Even though you mentioned bottle PR, you plug the show. You plug the company, and now plug the competition. We want you to win.
So the competition that I'm actually in is it's a competition called I Am Vincent, and the website is iamvincent.com. You can find me at iamvincent.com/vote, and you'll see my little thumbnail picture there. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Steve Monk C. MONKC.
At Steve Monk C.
Follow everything I do, see my picture. A few nice little photo merges on there that show just how uncanny it is.
It's amazing. He is
perfect.
He's the spit of Vincent, because of course there's other ways. I remember talking to the lady who ran a lookalikes agency some years ago, and she had a number of Princess Dianas on her books. So I said, when the tragedy occurred and poor Princess Diana was killed, what happened? They said, they became Jill Dando. So I go, this just gets worse. I said, what happened? Oh, they're Sophie Wessexes now. So therefore, you may be able to.
It's a harsh business.
It's just you've got to roll with it, really, haven't you? Steve Monk Shipman, thank you very much indeed for talking to us today.
Try to see it my way. Do I have